Thank you for tuning in to our first ever Inner Sanctum featured interview. We've got Marge Clark here from Nature's Gift, and Nature's Gift is an exquisite line of the most highest quality essential oils out there. We use the oils a lot in our classes here at the Atlantic Institute. Marge built this company from the ground up after losing a job due to disability, but that disability turned into one of her greatest gifts. It turned her onto essential oils and gave her the push to build a business around these products she found so healing. This was the early days of the internet, and not only did she teach herself about the oils, where to source them, how to tell if they're good quality, how to mix, blend, and formulate the oils, but she also built her first website all by herself while the rest of us were either, nursing or something or hiring webmasters to code the site, those early sites. Marge is honored as a guide and mentor for so many, including myself. And yet, she still sees herself as a lifelong student of aromatics in this fascinating experience called life. We are so blessed to have you here at the Inner Sanctum.
Thank you, Nyssa. I'm overwhelmed by your words. Thank you.
They're all super true, and many of you probably have heard of Marge, and if you haven't, definitely check out her website, order some samples of some of her oils. Everything's available as a sample for the most part. Yeah. She's got a lot of amazing blends on there, and I'll even share with you the blend that she gave me at the 2015 AIA conference when I sprained my ankle dancing at karaoke. But we had met, I can't believe it was 2013, which was the first time, because I felt like I had known you a long time. I had known of Nature's Gift just through my mom talking about Nature's Gift in classes. I know you were a big sponsor and donator to the United Aromatherapy effort in 2001. Yeah. And that you were part of what was known in my house as the list.
The IDMA list.
The IDMA list, which we'll talk about in a minute here. But tell us a little bit about how you were introduced to essential oils and how you started your online business.
I never planned to start a business. I made potpourri. I had herbs. I made potpourri. I bought lavender to put in the potpourri because the book said to. And then I started reading about lavender, and it could make a headache go away, and it could help you sleep, and it could do all this stuff. And who knew? So I got a book from the library because I was disabled and I was broke. And there were other oils, and I went to the health food store and I bought them, and I was fascinated. I was also fascinated by the World Wide Web. It was new. I had been doing online communication.
And this was about what time?
Early 90s.
Early 90s.
I had been doing online communication for 15 years. But this was before the World Wide Web. And I discovered the web, and you start here, and you click a link, and you're there, and you're over there reading. I've got to learn how to do this. This was fascinating. So I started learning how to write websites. And what am I going to write about? The oils, because they're my other fascination. So the disability gave me the time to study the oils and to write websites and talk about the oils in Yahoo groups. And that's where I learned about the IDMA group. Someone in Yahoo must have said something. And there were people talking about these oils. Nobody I knew what they were.
Yeah, that must have been amazing because, even still, even though aromatherapy and essential oils have gained in popularity tremendously, there's still not a lot of people that know about them. So at that time,
there was no one local to me.
So you were able to connect with people.
Yes, and there were experts in the field. There were Scylla, there were Michael Scholes, there was Michelle Van Hove, there was, I think Beverly Hawkins from WCIA was there. I forget who all. All these people who knew so much, who knew everything. And then there were a bunch of us who were thirsty little sponges. And somebody would ask, what do you use? This is what's going, what do you use? And these people who knew would suggest things, and we just soaked it up.
Do you remember how you met my mom? Tell us a little bit about that meeting.
She was online, and I was asking questions. And she said, you need my book. She's still saying that to people.
And that's the 2-volume reference manual.
Yes, the Aromatherapy reference manual, which I totally wore out my first copy. You wouldn't think it's possible. Not only did I wear the covers off, but front and back pages. And she gave me an almost affordable price, and I bought it. And Scylla established my reputation as being knowledgeable, because somebody would ask a question, and I'd grab Scylla's book, and I'd look it up in Scylla's reference manual.
So many of us are still doing that.
And I would answer the question, and they thought I knew something. But I had become sensitized to lavender from unwise neat use. Back in the day, everyone said you can use lavender neat, you can use tea tree neat. Most of us don't say that anymore.
And for those of you that may be new to essential oils, neat means
undiluted,
straight out of the bottle.
Your skin.
Which, if that's news to you, we definitely highly recommend to never use them straight out of the bottle. Even though it seems so easy to pour them out, and there's so many other products that you would use straight out of the bottle, these are very concentrated substances, and your experience is such a great example of what can happen with lavender that's supposedly safe
and benign. It's the gentlest oil. I used it a lot. Undiluted on broken skin. It got in my bloodstream. Sensitization, which I had never heard of until Scylla explained it to me. It's a T-cell reaction. It's a reaction to your immune system to an invader. And I'm not only sensitized to lavender, but look at all the oils that have the same major components.
Absolutely.
If I apply any of them topically, I will get contact dermatitis that might last for a few years.
So this is a great lesson.
Sensitization.
For people that may be watching that maybe also want to start their own company, or maybe are using oils neat, or just interacting with oils a lot, you know, like if you're filling lots of bottles, you get spills, you know, we come in contact with it even more. And you don't want to get to where you can't use
your own products.
Products.
I use inhalers.
Yeah, inhalers are great.
Because they don't touch my skin. But I knew people who had to leave our industry, Linda Sorensen, because they got sensitized and got respiratory arrest. She had a thriving business making aromatherapy products. She had to walk away from it.
So lessons learned. You know, we want to dilute.
And
we want to keep
Scylla
it safe.
taught me this, for which I'm so grateful.
That was at a conference, wasn't it?
It may have been before the conference, or it may have been that Seattle conference.
And somebody put something on you, I'm thinking, and...
Graham put lavender absolute. But see, at that point, we knew I was sensitized.
Oh.
So you had recognized it prior to that. He said, you've got to try this. And he grabs my wrist. He's got this green stuff. And I'm pulling back. Relax, it's just lavender. I'm sensitized to lavender. I carried a scar on my wrist for 5 years from that one drop of undiluted lavender.
Thank you, Graham.
Thank you, Graham. I love you anyway.
And that's another good lesson learned. Don't be putting stuff on people without their permission.
Yeah. Don't. It's one thing to be enthusiastic, to love these things, but have some boundaries, have some caution.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, that gets us to another one of these questions that might be a little hard hit. What was the hardest thing that you've had to do being in the essential oil business?
Some of it is just hard pain in the neck stuff. The government becomes more and more difficult to work with.
As far as importing
importing customs, it's harder to get things from there to here. A part of that is from 9/11, part of it is just bureaucracy. That's business stuff. It is illegal for me to say that an oil can help with a physical or mental or emotional condition. And I understand that there are people who will tell you that drinking frankincense will cure your cancer. But it is illegal for me to say that this inhaler helps my COPD. That's not.
And here's one for $4.95.
Yeah. That makes it very hard. And someday Nature's Gift is going to have to change because people look to us for descriptions and for honesty and to help them decide which oil to buy, because you don't want to buy them all. You want to buy the right one.
Yes.
So I have to guide you to the right one.
But you have to do it without telling them why it's going to work or how it's going to work.
Yeah, this is not legal. So that's the business part that's sad. There's a personal heartbreak. Back in the IDMA archives from 20 years ago, he had been told that helichrysum would restore his wife's hearing. How can you restore what she's never had?
A congenital condition, yeah.
And he saw that I had helichrysum. How much was it? How could he buy it? And I had to email him and tell him, I'm sorry, you were misled. Helichrysum is the most healing oil I know. I wouldn't want to be without it, but it will not allow your wife to hear. I want her to hear my voice before we die. It broke my heart. He never wrote back to me. I'm sure someone sold him helichrysum.
And probably made a big profit on that too.
That was 20 odd years ago. Today, at least once a week, my wife has ovarian cancer. Which one of your frankincense oils should she take? And I have so many blogs. One of them, the title is Sometimes We Cry.
Yeah.
I have so many blogs saying no. Robert Tisserand has indicated that if you're undergoing treatment for cancer, frankincense can strengthen the tumor cells that can prevent the chemo from working.
So that's the exact opposite of what people think.
Yeah, but people are being told
Yeah.
frankincense will cure cancer. And at least once a week, I write and tell them my truth. And sometimes they thank me and they look for things to help with side effects of chemo. And sometimes they tell me I'm wrong. And that is ongoing, and it's grief.
Yeah.
Because people are being harmed deliberately for greed.
Yes. Yes.
I'm opinionated.
As you should be. As you should be.
In case you didn't know.
You've earned it, I think.
Thank you.
So I know this may not be a short answer, but I think that for people that are new to essential oils, this is a very, very common question and kind of goes along some of the same lines that we've been talking about. What advice would you give to someone new to oils on how to tell if oil is good quality?
Do we have an hour and a half?
It's a loaded question.
First is purity. There are groups on Facebook that have oils tested. Is this oil pure? That's the basic bottom line. Because there are people that will put stuff in oils to make it smell better, to make it cheaper, to make it has to be pure. But purity and quality are two different things. You can have a pure, badly grown, poorly distilled, pure yuck.
It doesn't smell good, but it comes up clean on a GC.
Yeah, it's what it should be. Look for suppliers, look for small companies. And I'm talking about Nature's Gift, but there's a dozen of us out there where there is a person behind the company. You go to the website and you look about us, and there's names, there's people. Look for companies who have a passion for the oil. Look for companies where the owners are still studying, where they go to courses, where they learn.
Yes.
Don't look for companies, if you ask me, or the suppliers that I respect. Where do you get your oils? They'll say, I get this from Nepal and I get this, and we buy them from all over. I don't buy my oils from a big supplier. The suppliers that give you quality, nobody has the best of every possible oil. We just can't. The good suppliers try. We keep looking, and we will find, this is special, and we'll sell that off. Probably sell it and say, I found a new one. This is on sale. So we can bring in the better. I've been doing that for 25 years, and there are other suppliers out there who have been doing it for years. If you want exquisite,
you got to do the work.
That's who you look for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think there's a parallel here we can make too, like what I just heard you say. Not only do you, as a retail supplier, buy from different suppliers, but as a consumer, we all, of course, I would love for everybody to buy all your oils from Nature's Gift. Please buy all of them.
Oh, but you don't need them all. But
but there's value in buying from other companies as well, so you can compare oils and learn more about them. Just like we say, don't just learn from us.
Learn from
everybody.
Lots of teachers.
Yeah.
A woman I had dinner with the other night talked about buying the same oil from half a dozen sources and ranking them. Now, that gets expensive, and you don't need half a dozen bottles of sweet orange.
But if you want to really know that oil,
you will.
You don't just...
Or go to suppliers who will let you request or buy samples.
Yeah.
I have a Facebook thing on how to sample 4 or 5 oils from a bunch of different people. You go to Company A and you buy lemon oil and you request peppermint and Ace Bulgarian lavender and rosemary cineol, whatever oils that interest you. Then you go to Company B and you buy one of the oils you sampled and request all those samples. Go to Company C, buy the 3rd oil, and get all the samples. At the end of it, you'll have 5 companies, the quote-unquote same oil. Then you experience and see which one speaks to you, because that's the quality that you need. It may be mine, it may be fill in the blank, but that's how you learn to tell the difference.
That's a wonderful advice. Yes. We'll outline that for you guys so you can follow it.
Yeah.
So in terms of business and being in this industry and creating long-term relationships, What do you value most in people and why?
Integrity. There's no even thinking. Integrity coupled with compassion.
Yeah, you need both of those, don't you?
You have to. But the integrity has to come first. You have to be who you present yourself as. Part of it is I have no filter, and I have some memory issues, so I cannot lie because I will forget what I told you. So I have to tell you the truth. Otherwise, I'll trip myself up.
That's another, disability. That's a gift.
It's a gift, yeah.
Total gift.
But there has to be integrity. There has to be integrity with you as an individual. With your products have to be what you say they are. Don't tell me this is whatever, and it's a little bit of whatever with a lot of that. Integrity covers a lot of ground. And compassion and passion, both. But integrity is first.
Absolutely.
Thank you. I love that question.
We love your answer. Thank you. Here's one that might be even easier to answer. What's your favorite oil right now?
One, I'm wearing black Sacra frankincense from Oman. It's rare.
Not for your cancer.
No, not for my
No,
cancer.
she don't have cancer.
Because when I pick up the bottle cap and smell it, I feel like I've been hugged. Read my description of it. It's emotional. I use a lot of petitgrain for anxiety. Yes, I still get anxious, and it helps me sleep. Helichrysum is not my favorite, but
it's so
it's
good.
the most healing oil. I wouldn't be without it. I wouldn't want to live in a world without rose or without Indian sandalwood. I love the oranges, blood orange and bitter orange and sweet orange, the cold pressed citruses. They sparkle, they smile. I can't have just one.
Maybe that's the connection with the petitgrain too, since
Well,
petitgrain comes from the leaves of the citrus
it's the leaf
tree.
of the bitter orange, and I just 3 months ago found a bitter orange that I like. All the other ones smelled sort of sour, bitter. The one I have now smells like perfume. You can tell there's leaves and it's got layers. But I love blood orange. It's the ultimate orange.
Yeah.
Yeah. It depends. Oh, for pain relief, Duquesne Quinzia. For inflammation, Heli, mango, ginger, CO2. There's not just one. I can't do one. More is better.
I can't do one either.
No.
That's why we blend them.
More is
together.
better. Yes.
Well, it's interesting you brought up the frankincense black sacra because I remember you had that when we were in class together last November.
With Eileen.
Yes.
And Kathy.
So last November we reconnected once again at the workshop with Kathy Skipper and Florian Berkmeyer and their wonderful, wonderful workshop called Aromatherapy and Medicine of the Soul, which is about healing the wounded healer, which, most of us that come into the healing profession, just like Marge's story, we have our own healing to do, and who doesn't, right?
The world does.
So that was really a wonderful reconnection of us together once again, and we've connected many times.
With Scylla.
And with Scylla.
Yeah.
And we've reconnected at multiple conferences in the past,
But it was deeper.
it was way deeper.
At Florian and Kathy's class.
Yes.
It was a soul connection.
It very much, I ended up sitting next to you. We had like a circle. I don't want to sit next to my mom because I had wrote it with her. No offense to her at all. It's just like, you're with this person all the time. You want to be around different energies and stuff. And I sat next to Marge, and there was one moment when I had a lot of stuff really kind of come up and need to be released, and she was there for me.
And I remember I just held you like a baby.
Yes, it was beautiful.
And then I was crying, you were holding me.
And it was just such a, and it was then that we were like, you know what? I mean, I think you said, I'm going to come to Tampa.
Yeah.
I'm going to come visit you
Yeah.
guys. We want to continue to nurture this relationship.
Yeah.
So we've talked a lot over the past few days on what that class was like and what we got out of it, but I wanted to hear from you. What has been your lasting, lesson or insight?
First, I need to say I truly struggle with Florian's and Kathy's concepts, the alchemy, the Jungian alchemy.
It's very
I'm
foreign.
a thinker,
Yeah.
I'm not a feeler.
Yeah, it's very
and I
feeling.
don't let myself feel, and I can't wrap my brain around it. So I want to run screaming, which means that the next time they come to Atlanta, I'm going for their other courses, because this is my path, and I can't do it. So it's going to be interesting. But what I came away with, what first drew me to the oils was their emotional power, not the pain relieving, that help you sleep, that help you breathe, but I suffered from crippling anxiety, and the oils let me stand up and talk in public in front of 100 people. I couldn't do that. It was the emotional healing. That's what suckered me in. And then I start learning, and I go to this class, and I go to this class, and I listen to these smart people, and they're talking chemistry. I can't understand chemistry, and I still struggle with the chemistry. I've learned the esters, I've learned the ketones. I love esters. Stay away from the phenols. But chemistry is a struggle for me after all these years and all these courses. But the teachers that I had seemed to be, in the most part, there are some exceptions, so into the science of it, and we need to know the science. I grew up learning this oil will do this, this oil will do this, this oil will do this. The science helps me understand why, so I've had to learn that. But in the science, there are people who will say the essential oil is the soul of the plant, and there are others who will say they'll say rude things that I can't say on a video.
And it's equivalent to its sweat.
The words the words B and S come into it. Anyway.
Associated with the soul of the plant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're not the lifeblood of the plant, I know that,
Yes.
but the soul of the plant. Well, I walk into a room with Kathy and Florian, and they are talking about the soul of the plant and the gifts that the plant gives us. And one of my other teachers, Kathy Duffy, with Jane Buckle, presented at a conference about the gift of the plant people to mankind. And even though I can't wrap my brain around Kathy and Florian's work, they're bringing me back. Their work is about soul healing, our soul healing. Yesterday, we had another school shooting. Well, I'm in Florida. Our world, the physical globe that we walk on, the countries of the world, our nation, we need soul healing. We are sick at our souls. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to get... Kathy and Florian are teaching a path to individual soul healing. And everything in me says that we can't heal our country until we are healed. And if these plants Love the smell of rosemary. Don't like rosemary oil. It's not on my list. Love the herb. If these plants can help us heal ourselves, we can reach out and help heal those around us. And if this world is ever going to get healed from this madness, what's the old song? Let it begin with me. Let it begin with us.
Yeah, let it begin with us.
Oh.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
I need to say, this has been such an honor. Scylla and I have not always been close friends. I have always respected her. She was one of my earliest mentors, but we've had a rocky relationship at times. Yeah, we butt heads. We're both very, very outspoken.
I think you're Scorpio rising. That's one.
It has been a gift. She reached out to me a few months before Kathy and Florine's course, and reached out to me and built a bridge and made me cry with gratitude. And spending this time with Scylla and Nyssa has been a gift to my heart. Scylla is one of the wise women, and Nyssa's one of the shining stars. You are the future of aromatherapy, my love. I have told that to other young women, but you are one of them, and we need young women with strength and integrity and soul. Thank you for letting me be here.
Thank you for being here, Marge.
Thank you, Marge.
Thank you.
And I'm so grateful to have you as a teacher and mentor and one of my aromatherapy godmothers.
Yeah.
Love you, darling.
I love you too.
Shut that film up, Scylla.
Well, I just want to bring attention to this. Is Marge's book. It is no longer available as a hard copy. We have one of the exclusive copies here, but I will put a link to her book. Can be downloadable on Kindle.
It's available on Kindle. If I can ever retire, it's going to be a much bigger book. My plan is to put together everything I've written since then and make a great big fat book in my spare time.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Well, God willing, and
Creek don't rise.
And the creek don't rise. So thanks for tuning in, guys, and we'll see you next time on the Inner Sanctum.
And I can't wait to see who the next guest will be.
Hey, me too.
Yay! Marge is #1.
Woo-hoo!